Eat alive.
And welcome to Hot Sauce Live. I love the look on Eagle's face.
Yeah.
When we don't do what he thinks we're supposed to do.
He's always worried about something.
And
but
why
that's
is
why
the
we love
music
him.
so fucking loud?
Because it's like we're blending it in. We're blending it in.
This is the show that goes off the rails.
I think so. I think this is where everything goes wrong.
It's me and you.
Yeah, man.
Forget about Peeze. Forget about your brother.
Yeah, what happened to him tonight?
I don't know what he's at some event. He said there's only 3 people there.
Yeah, and he only told us last second, which is okay. Because, I mean, no more screen time for me. Less for my brother. Always a great thing.
I would love for the music to stop.
He's going to keep it going. If you keep saying it, he's going to keep it going.
I think our listeners would love the music.
Listener is in one.
Yeah.
As in one listener.
So we're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube.
Yeah, man.
So far, our only viewer is you.
No, we have 4. We have KD, we have Steve, we have Joe, we got Alex Daquila, who the fuck that is. And we have me and you, because technically we're 2 people watching ourselves doing this.
I love it.
Can we talk about sports?
We will talk a lot about sports.
Okay.
There's a lot of shit that happened in the last couple of days. NHL related, NBA related. We're drinking. Well, I guess we're going to plug this.
Show it. Yeah, show it on camera. But you got to show it. There you go.
It is Cask and Crew. It is a whiskey that I purchased today.
Okay.
It is aged in a rum barrel. That's why it has a different taste. It's not bad.
What's your grade on 10?
You know what? Are we going to do one sip? Everybody knows the rules?
One sip, everybody knows the rules.
I'm going to give this 6.2.
6.2. So I think 6.2 for you is probably like a 10 for me. Because I'm the type of guy that I'm just really not that picky.
Yeah, you'll just drink anything.
I mean, it's not really that I don't really have the taste buds for it. Like a good wine. A good wine I definitely have taste for.
Really?
You say 6.8?
6.8.
Okay, so Eagle says 6.8. You say
6.8.
6.2. Let me try it out.
You just said 10. But
I have to get it a good airy flow. That's a 10 on 10 for me, bud.
Get the fuck out of here. No, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think I'll ever buy this again.
KD got injured last night, and I'm fucking sad.
But you just said KD's watching.
That's a good point. I was talking about Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant got injured.
Yes, and we went down with all of my hopes and wishes. I know that right now they're saying it's a light calf strain.
Yeah,
but it didn't look that way.
I think it was his Achilles.
It looked like it. It looked like other Achilles injuries I've seen.
It could be a calf. I've torn my calf partially before.
Okay, tell us the story. How did you tear your calf?
It was playing football, just running.
Just regular football or fake football?
It was flag football.
Flag football, so fake football.
So somewhat fake, somewhat real.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Aspects of real, aspects of fake. And I was running.
I think you were playing on my team when that happened.
I was not.
Because I think you played for me and you retore that muscle.
It was the same year.
Oh, okay.
It was the same year, except I was playing on my other team. Because I played with Los Bandidos.
You tore your calf twice.
No, I tore my calf once.
Once.
And it was during the same season.
Okay.
Different divisions.
Right.
I was throwing for Wolfpack, and I was also playing with Los Bandidos.
Right.
And remember, I took a few weeks off.
I remember that.
It was the same thing, same injury.
So how does it feel like when you tear a calf?
So it feels like somebody hits you.
Okay.
Like something.
Because this is what it felt like. Because you look back as if anytime I feel like there's a tear and a guy looks backwards, because it's that reaction. Like one of my friends.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Well, yeah, and one of my friends tore his Achilles, and he had told me that's you think someone kicked you in the back of the leg, and it didn't happen, and that's always the scariest thing. Yeah. So I actually think he's gonna be out next year, but that's just me. Maybe I'm overreacting.
If it's a first degree tear like it was mine, I'm not a professional athlete. Far from it.
Yes.
I took about 2 months off, and I exaggerated it.
Okay.
Where I think he'll be back. He won't be back for this series for sure. And I think he'll be able to play next series.
Well, this series might last one more game because the Rockets weren't able to put them away.
No, Rockets are going to win. No KD, Rockets win.
So right now it's funny because KD's injured, Boogie's obviously injured. He got injured earlier in the playoffs.
But he wants to play. He says he's good.
And Curry. Well, yeah, of course Boogie wants to play. I mean, think about the lost value and revenue that Boogie Cousins has sustained by missing playoff games.
Yeah.
So I feel like in general, Boogie Cousins has lost a lot of money, and I think that he knows that this is his chance. This was his chance to really prove himself as a potential key player for a team. I think Boogie's still going to get signed by another team, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors make a pitch for him.
Someone's going to pay. Well, they're going to have to, right? Because they're going to try and keep some of the core together.
And so KD goes down. We don't know how bad that's going to be. The Warriors seem to say that it's a mild calf injury. We don't know. We'll see. They have all the information.
So
and also Steph Curry still has a lingering finger issue that he's going on, but that's really, it hasn't seemed to bother him too much.
Enough with this fucking finger, man. Basketball players break their fingers all the time.
Just like that.
It's
a fact.
It is a fact.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just wondering if it's
basketball
a fact.
players' fingers are they're fucked up, man.
It's true.
Receivers also same thing.
Who's that player whose fingers are in different directions in the NFL? There's a couple of guys I've seen on TV.
Well, there's what's his name, Baldinger.
Baldinger,
His
pinky's the complete opposite way. That's scary.
Sean Marion actually had his fucked up fingers too. His fingers are all the other way too. It happens, man.
Yeah. Can you do any surgery to get it back to normal?
Well, you just pop it back into place.
But I mean, all these guys that have really fucked up fingers, like where they're in different, there's this joint.
Oh, that's because they never did the surgery to place it properly, so the cartilage grew.
Yeah.
And it forces it the other way.
So there's nothing you can do. You just have crooked fingers. That's your life.
I don't know. I think you can break it, surgically break it, and then place it back.
I will tell you a story about how. I'll tell you a great story about how I broke my thumb.
I'm not a doctor, so yeah.
I once hit a home run, one of my only home runs playing baseball.
Never happened.
Running around to third base.
It didn't happen either.
Tripped on the third base, broke my thumb in front of everybody. The worst part was that I didn't go and touch home base, and I was out. And I actually hit the ball out of the park. It was incredible. I managed to hit the ball out of the park.
You're one pathetic loser.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty
offense.
bad. Yeah. It was the only game my parents ever went to go watch with me.
So what do you think? You think Houston's going to take it? No KD?
Well, I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Game 7.
It's funny that the Rockets have been that team that they've tried to kind of push the game and push the tempo into what they feel is comfortable. They try to hold possession of the ball.
Try to play their game.
They try to play their game and stuff, but it's really difficult with the Warriors because they're just such a great strategic team. And the thing about the Rockets is they tend to play this really like ISO kind of ball. There's a lot of it's a lot of ISO ball. Sometimes I feel like they're a bit lost.
Yeah.
And like Chris Paul's been non-apparent in this whole series.
Yeah, I guess.
To the point where
he still commands some attention though.
Yes, he does. But there's something about Chris Paul where when it gets down to the fourth quarter in an important game, there's something about him that he short circuits.
Yeah.
And they have some interesting pieces on that team. I know that Steve Kerr in the past has said that they're playing a really aggressive style. They're hitting us aggressively, which is what we got to prepare for. So.
Okay.
I think that's what's happening. I think that the Warriors have adjusted, and even without KD, they have so much firepower. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors make it out of the series, but they're still going to have to, if they do get into the next round, into the finals, they'll have to end up playing. They'll have to end up playing Denver or Milwaukee. But also if Denver
Milwaukee's
loses
on the east side.
No, I know, but I'm saying is that. There's all of the teams that they might potentially play right now are stacked. They're a lot healthier than they are. Yeah. That's really what I'm getting at.
That's true. That's a good point. So would you sign, now that Golden State does not have KD, would you sign Brienne of Tarth?
We spoke about this recently too.
We spoke about it on the Hot Sauce for Work.
I feel like Brienne of Tarth would be a really good. I feel like she'd be a really good center.
What spoiler, man? We're fucking Thursday.
Yeah, it's
you have 24 hours to watch the episode.
Yeah, more than that for sure.
Fuck off.
What's the spoiler? That she's still alive? Of course she's still alive.
No, she's not a virgin.
Nothing will kill her.
She got fucked.
So she would make a really good center.
Jamie Lannister did the one PP touch.
With one arm.
she went full stage 5 clinger on him. Full stage 5 clinger.
Eags, we spoke at length about the GOT. Did you like the latest episode?
I don't watch it.
Okay, so no one cares about your opinion.
Okay, just play Pokemon, man. Fuck.
That's it. Let's just disregard Eagle for the rest of the podcast. So
that's what he wants. So we're not going to do that.
No. So I'm specifically worried about KD's injury right now.
Eagle, do something.
No.
I'm worried about KD's situation because the Knicks will essentially have to do something in this offseason because they have a lot of money and have a lot of space. And right now, Kyrie Irving looks like he's at the lowest of his low. The Boston Celtics looked absolutely atrocious last night. At one point, they missed like 10 shots in a row, and I was dying inside watching that game.
So we all knew this was going to happen other than Paul Pierce.
Yeah, Paul Pierce was the only person I know that was saying after one game, yeah, it's over.
So Milwaukee is the team to come out of the East. I think Philly's going to take tonight against Toronto. I actually have a bet going. I know we wanted to talk about my bets. I've been on a heater lately.
Okay, so did you
I've
end
been
up
on a nice heater?
Yeah, I think we spoke about this too. So tell me about your heater.
Today I took Boston at home against Carolina.
Against Carolina, that's not a bad one because
In a parlay with Philly at home.
Yeah.
And also Portland at home.
Portland at home, that's a brave one.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is the game that Denver's going to probably end up closing out. But anyway, so those are really interesting picks. I feel like the Denver and Portland series is that one basketball series that one NBA series that I feel a lot of people aren't really paying a lot of attention about. They're not a lot
Which
of giving the Denver Portland series.
It's a great series.
It's a great series. I
really
think it's
good.
because it's late at night, and look, a lot of people are going to stay late and watch the Golden State Rocket series. But I feel like the opposing nights where it's the Rockets and Denver, I feel like a lot of people aren't, especially in the East Coast.
Yeah.
Probably aren't watching as much.
I haven't watched too much of it, I will admit, but the parts that I have watched, staying up late, obviously on the East Coast, it's tough, but I love watching Denver play. They're just a good team. Jamal Murray and Jokic to me are unreal, and you can't ignore watching Dame Lillard play.
Oh, he's absolutely phenomenal. He really is. You're looking at him because he keeps sneezing.
Yeah.
Eags, are you okay?
Fucking playing Pokemon.
Because you've interrupted us like 3 times now with your sneezing.
Just keep on drinking.
So
right now I think the Philly's going to force a game 7.
Right.
I think Portland's going to force a game 7 as well.
Okay.
It's going to be nice, but Denver wins that series ultimately.
I think so.
They're a much better team.
But I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, it's been such a back and forth kind of game. It's really funny that this dude Jokic is this guy that I haven't paid much attention to all season. And he's really proven to be this incredible player. He looks like when you see him on the court, you don't think much of him. But man,
I wouldn't think much of him. The guy's 7 feet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the size.
He's not super fast, but he does weird athletic movements.
What?
Well, you gotta love the white guys in the NBA, man.
I know
the white guys are taking over.
But it's the kind of frame, and I think I've told you this before, where
Europeans are taking over. Yanni,
he's everything I wanted Valanciunas to be. He is everything I wanted Valanciunas to be, and he turned out to be way better and way more.
So Denver's going to end up winning that series, and then if they end up playing Golden State with KD, it's a Golden State series. Without KD, maybe they'll force a game 6. But if they play Houston, if Houston wins the series, Denver beats Houston.
Wow.
And Denver against Milwaukee or Toronto, probably Milwaukee, in the finals.
That's wild, and I don't think that's going to happen because the refs aren't going to let it happen. Number one,
yeah. Well, the NBA is not going to let it.
No,
happen.
but you know what? Denver is that kind of team where they have it all kind of together. They play really good defense. Jokic has these insane passes that I don't think I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
He's just an extremely useful player. And Jamal Murray, man, like he's so young. I found out the other day he's like 20. No, I think he's 19. Eagle.
No, he's not 19.
Eagle. He's not 19. I think he's 23. Can you find out Jamal Murray what age he is? That's the only question I'm going to ask you ever.
Well, produce.
This is all the only producer. 22.
Yeah.
I mean, for 22
February
year old,
23rd?
it's 2 days after my birthday, bro.
It is?
Yeah, man.
Oh, my friend Eric, too.
Cool. So,
means nothing.
it means nothing.
Absolutely. What we just said means absolutely nothing.
Do you make $3 million a year?
I make minus $3 million a year.
Fuck, what do you spend your money on? Booze.
Fuck, yeah.
Cheap whiskey.
But going back.
Speaking of cheap whiskey, Cask and Crew.
Please pay us. We need the money, clearly, for a better production studio.
That's hashtag Cask and
Like,
Crew.
I love how the
everything
bottom
we
of
do.
my body, there's nothing going on. It's just blank space. It's just.
It's like I'm going to be... Go back, Eagle.
Yeah.
It's a kid show. Relax.
Is it? I don't know. If your kids are watching this, man, they're
feel
in
bad
the
for
wrong
you.
channel at
I
the
feel
wrong
bad for
time.
you. So did you watch any hockey?
So I do watch generally the earlier games.
So my
I
question
did
was,
watch
did you
Game 7. I watched Game 7 of the Sharks and Avalanche game.
That was
was
yesterday.
incredible. Yeah, that's what I watched.
Yeah.
That's
Great
pretty
game.
much the latest one that I saw.
I love San Jose. I'm balls deep in San Jose.
Okay.
Balls deep in Sharks.
So you're really balls deep. I
don't
know
call PETA.
you're balls deep in a Shark.
Yeah.
So what is it about the Sharks that interests you?
Joe Thornton.
Right.
Eric Carlson. Brent Burns.
That goalie they have,
Joe
by the way.
Pavelski,
I don't know
Logan
much about
Couture,
goalie.
Martin Jones.
I don't know much about goaltending, but that
Martin
dude
Jones.
is amazing.
He's pretty good.
I feel really bad for for Ben Bishop from the Stars, man. I mean,
Yeah,
dude
it's
saved
tough,
52
man.
saves.
And
He had 52
and that
saves.
goal that goes in.
Oh, and it was a dribbler.
So St. Louis wins. They go on to
It was.
the
I think it was off. It was off the post and hit him on the back and went in.
I don't even know what
So
happened.
it was just-
and it was out of all people, it was fucking Pat Maroon that scored the goal.
And at one point, I was looking at the score,
Let's
and
give
they
some
had
context though. St. Louis wins
Yes.
their game against
7.
Dallas.
the Dallas
Game
Stars.
7.
Yeah,
To move on to the Western Conference Finals
Yeah.
to play the winner of Colorado and San Jose. San Jose won last night.
right.
So San Jose versus St. Louis. Great series. Last time they played it was 2013, I think, in the finals. And San Jose ended up winning.
That's
And
amazing
losing in the
memory,
final.
bud. That's amazing memory.
Thanks.
San Jose is one of those teams where I generally don't catch too much of them because their games are pretty late.
That's why I catch them.
Yeah. And
Because
they
there's
have
nothing else on at that time, and I don't have a job.
is that still going on?
Yeah,
still
it's
no
still
job?
going
Okay.
on. I'm living life, bro.
Well, I mean, you have
Drinking
a job.
cheap whiskey, getting Starbucks whenever the fuck I want, and that's it. And just doing this shit and writing really bad articles.
Yeah, you haven't written something in a while, so I'm wondering.
I'll write one tonight.
You should.
Yeah.
I
just got the jiggles.
But going back to the Sharks for a second. So they got a really interesting team. I really like Martin Jones. Martin Jones.
Martin Jones.
Joe Thornton's got to win something
The
at this point.
thing about Martin Jones is that he's been inconsistent, but he's been playing well this playoffs. But normally, Martin Jones is known as an inconsistent goalie. So the fact that he's winning,
But not knowing too much about him, has he always played for the Sharks? Was he
Yeah, he was with
was
the
he
Sharks.
drafted by
I
the
don't know if he
Sharks?
was drafted by them,
Right.
but he's been with them for a long
Okay.
time. He was in their system.
Whereas Ben Bishop, I think, played for the Lightning before.
The Lightning.
Okay.
Ben Bishop is from St. Louis, so for him to lose in St. Louis, Game 7, it was tough for him.
And his
a lot of
mom,
people-
I mean, they kept cutting to his mom, and I felt so bad.
Yeah, a lot of people hate Ben Bishop because he's a bit of an asshole, but he's a fucking great player.
Aren't they all assholes in the NHL, though?
No, actually, I think NHLers are probably the nicest guys.
Okay.
You know why? They just are.
Big old cocks.
No, it's because they love each other, man.
What are you showing us?
Breaking news.
Breaking news? Read it. Read the breaking news.
Breaking news. Eagle will be giving me fellatio by the end of this podcast. Ben Bishop will undergo back surgery next week after suffering a shattered spine, carrying his team to a double overtime.
He shattered his spine.
Fucked.
Wait, can you actually see if that's an actual source?
Give me a picture of his spine.
It's a meme.
Oh, it's not real.
On his back.
Ah. Hey, right here. Right over my head. Right over my fucking head. Imagine he shattered his back. But
Oh, wait, didn't he shatter his shoulder though?
I don't want to say that he carried
No,
them,
wait, was he the one that took a shot off the shoulder and then
Yeah.
the Blues? Yeah, the Blues scored.
I don't want to
scored
say
over
that
his
he
body.
carried them, though. I mean, obviously he was the biggest piece, and if they ended up going to the finals, he would have won Conn Smythe. But I don't want to say that he carried them because they have a lot of scoring, and they played really well. And they were able to take away a lot of scoring from St. Louis, which I liked. I like Dallas. Dallas is a good team. But I've been rooting for San Jose since the beginning, and I'm continuing. Baby.
I
Go on
look,
in.
So I look more on the east side.
Even though I bet against them in Game 6 and I won money. Hey-o.
So I think that the Sharks will probably end up taking it all. I don't know much about them, but they look, from the games I've seen them, they look so powerful. And they beat a Colorado team that has a lot of great players.
One line.
But like you've said
One
this,
line.
you've said this in the past. They have one line.
One line. The best one line.
Yeah.
Absolute best one line in the NHL.
And sometimes
but
that's what you need.
Rantanen was part of that one line, has been banged up. They relied on guys like Comfer. I don't know if I messaged you guys, but I messaged somebody. I'm like, Comfer's going to win this game. Boom. 10 seconds later, scores a goal.
For the sake of the story, I'll say that you did text us that.
It wasn't you guys, though.
How do you feel about the? I know you did say that you put some money on Boston in their first game at home against Carolina.
Tonight, baby.
But for the overall, it's not. It's
I'm looking everywhere, and this motherfucker
7:34. 7:34.
It's on right now.
No, yeah, it is on right now. So
Why are we
how do you
doing
feel? How do you feel about that overall matchup between Carolina and Boston?
I love it for Boston.
Basically, we're on right now while everybody's watching sports.
Yeah, but how many people do we have online right now?
We have maybe one or two.
Well, you can tell.
It says one.
Who is it?
Let's check.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
Hey.
no, it's me. It's me there because this is my watch. This is my watch party. And no, but look. There's a bunch of guys that join. There's a bunch of people that join. But you know how watch parties are. I mean, going live sometimes it's not about who's actually watching.
What kind of watch party?
It's just a video that will appear on people's feeds,
Like,
and they
would
can
you-
choose to watch or not.
If I had to ask you, do you think you can jerk off and come before the end of a car wash? Would you be able to do it?
I don't think so. I'd be really freaked out by it, man. I'd be pretty
100%
freaked
I
out
can
by
do
it.
Ego, you know what I noticed last time? I was watching an episode. I forgot which episode it was, but I banged the table a lot. And when I do that, I'm like, why the fuck is the camera shaking?
Yeah, it's shaking now because you keep fucking hitting the table.
No, but I noticed it in past podcasts too. Like, I'll go fuck Peeze.
Can I
or
just take
something
this
like
fucking
that.
mic out? There you go. There
There
you
you go. And I'll do that, and then like I'll be earthquake. Whatever.
go. Look, man,
It's the Caskin crew talking. It's not me.
it could be, but you do that every year, every episode. Look, in general, I gotta say, this is. I've said this many times. This is the best time of the year. But I
Best time of the
can't
year, why?
I can't fucking stay up past 10:30, 11 p.m.
Why not?
And because I'm just so exhausted by the
take
end.
a snooze. That's what I
Take a nap? I can't take a nap. I'm
do.
incapable.
Gotta
of
take
taking a nap.
frequent cat naps.
So how long are your naps?
15 minutes.
While we try to find out more things to talk about.
20 minutes.
I feel like there's other things happening in sports we're just ignoring right now.
Like what?
I don't know, baseball?
Okay, so Joey Gallo. See what happens with him?
I did hear that.
Joey Gallo's been on fire. He's never been more of like a 200 hitter.
Okay.
And this year I don't know what his numbers are exactly, Eagle, but I know he hit his 100th.
Joey Gallo.
He hit his 100th homer. I just need his batting average. Good thing he's going to do it. He hit his 100th homer in his career before he hit his 100th single.
He's at 274 on the season. Career is 210.
There you go.
That's pretty good.
So Joey Gallo, good old Canadian boy.
Joey Gallo
well.
played on the same team, I think, the same college team as Bryce Harper.
Oh, that's possible, yeah.
I think that was a pretty stacked team.
Who's the best Canadian baseball player you've ever seen?
Probably the dude from the Reds. What's his face? Joey Votto.
Joey Votto, yeah.
Joey Votto.
Joey Votto's legit.
Joey Votto's my man. And he once said that he wasn't going to play for Team Canada, and everyone shot on him, and I was like, why? Why would he?
Why would he?
Like, no one cares.
But there was one year, remember, I think his name was Matt Stairs. He was a pitcher for
yeah, I think for the Brewers at one point.
Brewers, Blue Jays, but he pitched for Team Canada, and they ended up going to the finals. I'll never forget that year, that World Championship year with Matt Stairs as a pitcher. But my favorite Canadian baseball player is probably, I'd say Larry Walker, man. You can't go wrong with Larry
For sure.
Walker.
Yeah, so Canadian baseball, fantastic thing to talk about.
Why not?
So going back to basketball for a second.
Oh, we're going back
because I can't stop talking about it.
What about
I'm obsessed.
Okay, let's talk about basketball.
Just for 1 second. The Bucks and
You're
Celtics,
done.
the Bucks and Celtics series
1 second's over.
I just want to say this one thing.
It's over.
I have a hard time watching two teams wearing the same color. It's weird. It's so weird. I had the same problem in the CFL final when I think it was the Stampeders against the Ottawa Red Blacks, and it was driving me crazy that they had the same pattern but like reversed. And I know that the Celtics green and the Bucks green are extremely different. You know, I'm not going to geek on you too much, but the Bucks green is like a foresty green, kind of like a.
It's nice.
Like it's a really really kind of dark herbal green.
I'm still owed a jersey.
Whereas the Celtics green is obviously a little bit more festive,
Yeah.
if you will.
I'm still owed a white Bucks jersey from Dan Lazara, who was supposed to come on today and talk shit to basketball, but he's in Orlando enjoying himself.
Was he supposed to, or were you just expecting?
No, I
him?
spoke to him last week. He wanted to come on this week.
Okay.
And just talk shit because I know that he's a huge Raptors fan. So
that we didn't talk about the Raptors and Kawhi.
what about him?
Wow, I have to say
He's fucking unreal.
he's crazy, man.
It's he's so good.
No
he's
fucking
never
emotion.
gonna play for the Raptors ever again.
Oh, never again. This is his last season. Like, Raptor fans, enjoy this while this lasts.
You know what needs to happen for two things need to happen for Kawhi to stay in Toronto.
Let's do a two touch.
Like that?
Wait, no, but check the screen. Like, no, Eags, you're fucking everything up. Look.
Two things need to happen for Kawhi to stay in Toronto. One, they need to win.
One, they have to win. Good one.
One, they have to win.
Yay.
Two,
win what?
The championship.
Okay, everything.
Two, they have to make it. They have to make it very interesting against Golden State in the finals, or whoever they play.
Right. So they have to either make it to the finals and be really good, or win it.
Exactly. He has to have an itch to come back. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I don't think he has that itch right now. I think he realizes that he's the only one playing.
I just don't see why he wouldn't go to the Clippers. It's in LA. It's a better city to play in. Better team. That team is ready for him. That team is ready to go. All they need is one and maybe a second guy. Him and Jimmy Butler. Oh my God, incredible championships.
What do you mean?
Or come to Knicks. We need players. We got plenty of space. KD's fucking injured. Kyrie's got a shitty beard. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't want any. I don't want both of them, but I want both of them.
We got Jim Dole in there, and he's willing to dish out money.
He is, but no one wants to go to. But he's also going through a lawsuit, so he might lose the team.
You think if he tried to sell, that he would get a lot of suitors?
Oh my God! Well, he would, but he would probably have some kind of weird clause where he'd be still kind of like a part-time owner, or he'd have like lifetime seats or something. I don't know. He'd have one of these weird things. Who's it? The guy that sold the Panthers? He sold the Panthers, but he put a clause in there that they have to leave the statue of him in front of the arena.
There's a statue.
Okay.
Of the ex-owner of the Florida Panthers.
So I should elaborate.
Florida Panthers?
The Carolina Panthers.
Oh, okay.
I have zero facts because I'm not doing research right now, but the owner of the Carolina Panthers.
Producer wasn't playing fucking Pokemon.
Can you just get me the name of the owner of
previous owner of the Carolina Panthers?
Carolina Panthers. That's it.
How about this? You Google Carolina Panthers owner statue.
Okay, so the statue is him, and I believe that there's Panthers that he's like caressing a panther or something crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. So James Dolan would have some kind of weird clause in there. Now, would he have a lot of suitors? I mean, why not? It's Madison Square Garden. But I don't think he'd actually sell, because I believe that he has. I would want to ask Brent, our writer, our resident NBA writer, about this, Brent Bodkin. But
Brent Botkin's
you know what?
First guy.
there it is.
Jerry Richardson. Okay, so it's just Jerry Richardson, but he has
Brent Botkin's
can you
our
check out-
resident NBA guy.
Well, I mean, he's the only one writing. He's the only one writing about NBA right now. Eags, what's the statue look like? Can you look it up for Jerry Richardson? So okay,
and then
so
put it on screen. So all of our viewer can see it.
just our single one viewer who is me. So James Dolan won't. I don't think he's ever going to sell that team. And if he does, he'll make a lot of money. It's going to have nothing to do with Madison Square Garden because I doubt he's going to sell any part of that. But he will probably sell part of the New York Knicks at some point. He's going to probably have no choice because from what I've heard, he's been kind of an absentee owner. He hasn't really been around. And I do think that he really is. I don't think it's just James Dolan. I think that the general organization and the general management of the New York Knicks kind of scares people away. I know that, and a lot of Knicks fans, myself included, we say, it's the fucking Mecca. You got to come out to the Mecca. Just,
Knicks are the Mecca?
Yeah, man.
Nah.
Madison Square Garden is the fucking Mecca. It
Of
is
what?
of basketball. It's of sports. It's the greatest arena of all time. I don't care what anyone says, but that's my opinion. That being said, they would be exponentially better with a better owner, obviously. But there have been reports about KD going to Brooklyn, and I think that that's also a smart move. So I feel like two teams that are ready right now, cap wise with tradable assets, are Brooklyn Nets and the Clippers. Check the screen. Look at that fucking statue.
That's ridiculous.
That is amazing. That's my life goal.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
This dude sold the team, and he's like, in his contract said, "I got a fucking statue."
But he was
in
the
front of his
first.
place."
He was the first owner of the Panthers, right? So he deserves a stadium.
And he deserves a motherfucking statue.
Yeah, for sure. They're
Like
a
that?
successful team.
Like, isn't that the dream?
They're a successful team. They haven't won.
Basically Scar.
He's basically
He's
Scar.
basically Michael Scarn.
Nice, Michael Scar. Good
You know
Office
that?
reference. I like that,
Hey.
Good
Fuck! I've
stuff.
been binge watching Office. I
Oh
love
yeah,
it.
where are you at?
I'm at season 7. Like that episode.
That's
the
good.
last episode
It's
I saw.
amazing.
Threat Level Midnight.
Yeah,
It's the fucking best movie ever.
it is, man. It is.
It's pretty legit. I'm gonna rewatch them as soon as I'm done.
Let's just
I
briefly
love
check.
Kevin. Kevin's my favorite character by far.
Kevin?
Yeah, I love Kevin. He's hilarious.
So tonight we got Toronto and Philly facing off for Game 6. Yeah, Game 6, I believe. And you're
Philly's
saying
gonna force Game 7,
you're all in on Philly.
and then back to Toronto.
Philly's
Toronto
been
wins
really. Philadelphia's been the Sixers have been absolutely bothering me this whole time.
Yeah.
I from the beginning I thought that my original prediction from the beginning of the NBA playoffs was that the Sixers were going to make it to the finals. I thought, but this was before I knew. Like obviously I knew Giannis was great, and I knew that the Bucks were amazing. But there's something about the Sixers. I thought they were going to turn around for the playoffs, but Embiid hasn't been healthy, and Simmons is just not shooting.
The problem with both teams is that when they lose, they fucking fall completely. They get destroyed. This series has been the most boring. The reason why is because there's always one team playing, the other one just takes the night off. There hasn't been a tight game all series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what sucks about this series.
And
That's
the
why
last
I
one
don't
was
give
a huge
fuck, and I hate Toronto sports in general.
Right.
So makes me watch. It's the least amount of basketball I've watched, and it's the most. It's the series that has the most publicity in Canada.
So you're just saying that you're watching less basketball, or you're watching
No,
less?
I'm watching less that shit.
That
series.
so Raptors Sixers.
I watch full Milwaukee games.
Of course, because you got your Greek
boy.
freak in there.
Got Yanni in there, the MVP.
And I don't blame you because
But I watch Houston games too. I watch Denver. You know what I mean? I'll watch every series except for Toronto because they're boring.
yeah, I know. I know this. You
Even
have
Kawhi, who's so good. He's so
No.
fucking
He's
boring.
no. Don't talk shit about Kawhi. Kawhi's been
I'm gonna talk shit about Kawhi.
okay. Cool. You
I'm-
will, but
ready?
I will say
Ready?
go.
He's overrated.
I thought you were gonna say he's a robot, and I wouldn't have disagreed.
Well, he is a robot.
Yeah,
No, he's sick.
dude is a cold-blooded killer, and also he's incredible. And you're talking out of your ass.
No.
Kawhi has
Top
been
5.
the greatest player in the NBA playoffs so far. He's been amazing. If it wasn't for him, the dude has been scoring more and more every single game, and he's been completely controlling that team.
Yanni has been the best player in the playoffs.
Okay, you're right. I'll say, but no, it depends because Yanni. Okay, anyway, we're getting into this dumb debate about
Depends on
player
what?
versus player.
It's not a dumb debate.
Let's just say this: they're both amazing. I know that you hate Toronto, but
I don't hate Kawhi.
But going back to the Raptors series with the Sixers, what I was getting at is that I really do enjoy watching the Sixers play when they're hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah.
When Embiid is in full strength, when Simmons is, not just distributing the ball but actually attacking. And I feel like Ben Simmons in this series has been relegated to this like fourth player that doesn't really have a role.
Yeah.
And he's kind of relegated to just guarding Kawhi Leonard, and that's just you never want to be in that situation. Or that's your only purpose.
Who the fuck would want to be in a situation where you have to guard Kawhi Leonard?
Because that's the only thing he's providing them right now. But what I'm worried about in general in the future for the Sixers is that where do you go with this? This is the ceiling that they're at right now. They're going to be dealing with an Embiid that's always on and off injury wise, or he's had a couple of sicknesses, and I've heard a couple of guys.
He's been very, very disappointing this playoff.
Yeah, he has, and there were a few games where I think it was game 3 that he came out and he was hitting 3-pointers and he was all over the place. He was actually at his full strength, and at that point you're thinking, oh man, they're going to take over the series, and it didn't happen.
He's been very disappointing. The reason why is because I feel like nobody from the Sixers has taken over games other than Jimmy Butler. And you expect Ben Simmons to take over games. You expect Joel Embiid to take over games. He's hit some shots. He's been playing well defensively too. But overall, Sixers, it's like they're missing something completely. And Sixers at the beginning of the year,
they're missing Kawhi Leonard.
The thing is, Sixers at the beginning of the playoffs, people are like, the road through the East is going through Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I believed it. Not anymore, man.
I think it's with the Bucks. The problem is that it's a market. It's a small market that people don't know. Obviously, Giannis, we all know he's great and everything. But how many games have people actually watched of Giannis aside from me and you?
Just look at a highlight reel.
That's it.
And you'll see what the guy can do. And just look at his numbers after.
But the team in general.
How many Dallas Mavericks games have people watched? Everybody's fucking talking about Luka.
Yeah, Luka Doncic. Yeah, he's incredible.
So basketball, you don't have to watch anything. You look at the highlights. You look at the stat line, and you know who's the best.
I know,
it's
but
the most
I know that's what you think.
Team sport.
I know that's how you think, and I've heard you say this before. My perception on basketball, it comes down to a lot of things. It's a very emotional sport. There's a lot of things that you can tell, and I find that there's a lot to do with body language as well. And when I look at a team like, for example,
fuck your body language.
When I look at a team like the Boston Celtics, it's almost like and I feel the same issue with the Sixers, that when things go bad, you just look at their bench and there's just no communication. There's just something bad happening. It doesn't help that their coach, Dwayne, I think it's Dwayne Brown or something. I forget his name. Dude looks like he's just ready to have a panic attack.
I'd be having a panic attack drinking this fucking shit ass whiskey.
Show us again.
Caskin Crew. Don't buy it.
Caskin Crew, don't buy it. So please sponsor us, but
or
don't buy
Caskin
it.
Crew, sponsor us so I can tell people to buy you.
So that's it.
Until you do, I'm not telling anybody anything other than don't buy this shit.
So we covered most of the NBA.
I want to talk about one thing specifically.
Go for it.
Doug Baldwin.
End
of an era.
Wow.
Got released.
He got released today?
Yep.
But I heard that he was also not going to play this season.
Released. It's better for him. I think the Seahawks.
What was that you just did?
Guns.
It's the worst, most ineffective guns I've ever heard.
What about
You have to go pop, pop, pop. That's a gun. That's a fucking gun.
Whatever. You never heard a gun before. So Dougie Baldwin, he's out of Seattle. I think they did him a favor by releasing him from a Seattle Seahawks fan that we both know. Told me that he keeps his bonus, and he can get like some sort of insurance money from being injured. So he's gonna be getting paid to get released, and chances are he wouldn't have made the physical this year.
I remember hearing that he had like a kind of some kind of like an injury that would prevent him playing in the future.
He had AIDS.
No, fuck off. That's not true.
No?
Well, I don't know. Are you saying that out of your ass?
I heard he had AIDS. I don't know.
He had AIDS.
Not HIV, but full-blown AIDS.
No, it was just I was referring to the Donald Sterling interview that he had on CNN. Do you ever see that?
He had AIDS?
Or he's talking about Magic Johnson. He's like, "What did he ever do for the community?"
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
and then Donald Anderson Cooper tells him, he's like, "Well, he's done a lot for the community," and he just cuts him off. He said, "He had AIDS." But Doug Baldwin has always been that player that on the field,
I love Doug Baldwin.
He's been incredible throughout his whole career. It's sad to see him go.
Yeah, big time. Played at Stanford with Richard Sherman, undrafted, signed by the Seahawks, Super Bowl winner, led the league in receiving yards, never in catches, I don't think. Great player. Russell Wilson used him as an outlet.
And had some really fantastic catches from what I remember.
Yeah, and it would have been a nice compliment if he was healthy. So I think he just wasn't healthy enough, and they knew it, so they let him go. but it would have been a nice compliment to DK Metcalf for Seattle Seahawks.
So
and
I
they have TJ Lockett too.
so I know that
Nice.
you said he has AIDS. So Eagle,
He
can you
doesn't
just
have
double
AIDS.
check that,
He
please?
doesn't have
Because
AIDS.
I
I
really don't
just
want to.
checked.
I don't want to be the one
I,
fucking place in the world that
I
said
did
that he has
a
AIDS.
Google a search, and no, he doesn't have AIDS.
He doesn't have AIDS. Okay.
No.
So
But
I'm
you know who does
sure-
have AIDS? Casking Crew. Has AIDS.
So we also released our NFL draft grades on
Why are we
hotsaucesports.ca.
jumping from topic to topic?
I just want to make sure because I'm going to forget.
Let's. Okay. How much time do we have? How long
We have
been
whatever
going for?
time we want.
10 minutes.
We've been going for 10 minutes?
No, we have 10 minutes left.
We have.
We're at 36.
Okay, yeah, we have about 10, 15
That's
minutes.
why
left.
I'm jumping around.
Nah, okay, we don't have to jump around.
Okay.
So,
Jump up, get down.
now Seattle, they lose Dougie.
Yeah.
What's going to happen in that division? They're going to fall off, right?
Mhm.
You got Seattle, you got LA, you got Arizona, and you got San Francisco. I don't see them making the playoffs now.
You don't see them making the playoffs in that division?
That division.
That's a pretty bad division, dude. Even the 49ers, I mean, 49ers had what, 3-4
LA?
wins last year? Nah,
But you got to look at LA's going to win the division. And then you got to look at the rest of the NFC. If I look at Philly, if I look at the NFC East, there's two teams that are making the playoffs. Right? Dallas and Philly.
Okay.
Okay? Now look at the North. You got Green Bay. You
And
got
there's also like you can
Chicago,
never really count out Philly
Minnesota,
either. Can never
Detroit.
really Philly also, and yeah,
4 teams.
Detroit.
I don't think
You're
any.
throwing Detroit in there.
Hey, you never know with Detroit.
You kind of do. They're a terrible team.
No, you don't know. Their defense is very good. They have a young defense, and they're very opportunistic, and I'm excited to see them play this year.
It's
So-
funny. It's funny that the
So
Seahawks.
that's why I don't think Seattle's going to
the Seahawks have always made do, and they've always performed a lot better than people expected when having not as many like players as like at some point they lost, like especially last year they lost a couple of players. They
Yeah.
lost a couple of defensive players.
Didn't they beat the
yeah.
Cowboys in the playoffs?
I think that was a few years back.
No, this was last year. Cowboys. Who did the Cowboys beat in the playoffs?
I don't know. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I kind of gave up on NFL last year a little bit
Of course you did. You're
because of what
fucking- you're
because of what the Raiders did,
You're a
and
Raiders fan.
it was the worst season ever to watch as a Raiders fan. It was the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life.
All right. So, draft.
NFL draft, yeah. So we launched an NFL draft. I'm allowed to talk about it, right?
Yeah, you can
We'll
talk about
it?
it.
Okay.
If you want, yeah.
So we dropped an NFL draft grade, our NFL draft grades. We posted an article recently on hotsaucesports.ca. You know, it's about a 2 week. I gotta say, it's about 2 weeks late. It should have been posted a little bit before, but you know, we take our time at Hot Sauce Sports.
Absolutely.
We do our research. We make sure we have good opinions, even if it's the same opinions as everything else that you see online. But
freaking loot.
But I added some pretty cool player highlights on it. So if there's a player you like, chances are not every player has, like, I'm not going to put up highlights of like an offensive lineman, but like if you like Jake Allen, for example, there's some highlights in there, you know. So that's it. I'd have to say that if you have nothing to do tonight, if you're not into basketball or hockey, go on Hot Sauce Sports and check out our article about NFL draft grades. I mean, what the fuck else you have to do with your life?
How about this? What do you two doofuses want me to write about tonight, and I'll write about it?
What do I want you to write about?
Anything.
What's Terry gonna
Could be anything. Could be dicks.
No, let's not write about dicks. I
Could
just
be how bad this is.
no. You already wrote about whiskey.
I did. It was a nice article.
I'd like to see you, and you wrote about jiu-jitsu.
And yes, I do have a lot of spelling mistakes. I went back after you. Eagles like Terry, I love you, but you can't spell.
But
for
you're
shit.
also the-
and it's not that I can't spell. It's I don't check. I don't spell check at all.
But also, Eagles the only person.
I forget a lot of words too.
At one point, I was gonna circle all the
You should have.
screenshot, and I was like, nah.
You should have do it and then post it. 100%. I look back. I'm like, okay, let's edit this. Da, 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 da. Even our buddy Alex Hollow, he's like, your articles are great, but they're dyslexic.
Yeah. I kind of gave up halfway when I was editing these things. I'm looking at. I can't do this.
No. It's Bear Cole, baby.
Yeah.
We're
As we
putting
say,
coal
as
to
you
the
say on a Hot Sauce podcast, you know, we just keep throwing coal in it.
So tonight we have Boston, Philly.
Wait. We're not done. We're not done.
Oh, we're not okay.
We're not done.
Finish.
What's
Actually,
something that you know a lot about?
Dicks.
no, come on.
Something
Stop
else.
saying you always say that. You don't just
Football,
know about dicks.
Jiu-jitsu,
MMA.
MMA.
Okay, so if I know
Cigars,
nothing
weed,
about
whiskey.
pick a topic that
Yeah.
you know a lot about. I know nothing about a lot of that stuff.
Yes,
So if I'm a noob
absolutely.
and I want to get
But I
into
don't
one
want
of those
that.
things,
I don't want that
No.
because
what
I
do
don't
I
want
need to know?
I don't want to be I don't want to have to explain shit.
Oh,
Get
I have
on
one.
your high horse and tell me what I need to know.
And get off my high horse.
No, get on it.
You mentioned that you hate
Preach,
Toronto
my friend.
sports.
Preach.
You
Preach
you
to the
you
choir.
mentioned that you hate Toronto sports.
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, that's a
Because
good
that's
one.
gonna get fucking clicks in Montreal, bro.
Hey.
That's gonna get.
Yeah, baby. Casket crew, you're back in, baby. You're spitting good ideas out there.
So just to finalize it, so what were your picks tonight? Just for
How
anyone
many
that's
viewers
just
we have? I think we have a few more.
don't worry about
I
that.
sent out a few texts. That's why.
Is that it? That's why people are
Tell
looking.
me. Tell me.
I'm not gonna look now.
But you can see right there. I see heads.
I don't want your ego to get too high.
No, I want to know. Go tell me.
This fucking guy.
So we can talk to them.
We have Petro Tam. It's your brother.
Hey, my brother.
Really? That's the only viewer we have is your brother.
One thing me and my brother don't have in
And
common.
my friend Eduardo. What's up, bro? Long time no see. I miss you.
One thing me and my brother don't have in common. I have hair. He doesn't.
Wait. Okay. Yeah. That's true. That's
I have
true.
hair. He doesn't.
Yeah.
But
He's also a way better athlete than you.
Oh.
Yes.
He's also like this. If that means
I don't know what that means.
If
Are you
you
talking
know-
about his dick?
if you know what I mean, I'm not saying anything.
So I guess you should write about dicks, dude. I mean, I guess it's all you talk about. Fuck. It's literally all you talk about.
I like dicks, man. I mean, I'm appreciated. I appreciate a good piece. Like a nice phallic. I mean, listen, I like women.
If your kids are watching right now, it's too bad for you. Fuck.
I like women, but at the end of the day, I appreciate it for guys. He's got a wrench. He's got a nice wrench. You know what I mean? A nice rope.
A whole toolkit.
A whole toolkit.
What are your picks for tonight? Let's go back to that.
Okay, so Boston at home against Carolina. I think that Boston is going to use the momentum, the wave.
They have bigger cocks.
They 100% have bigger cocks, but nobody has a bigger cock than Rod Brendamore, coach of the Carolina Hurricanes.
You just like the way it looks, eh? I don't like him. I find he's been complaining too much.
I love the way Rod.
I
Brendamore
can't stand him. I'm really into Carolina. I'm really into the Storm Surge. I really like that team. I've actually been following them the most in the NHL playoffs. But Rod Brindamore, man, just so much complaining. Great hair though, I have to say.
Oh, Brendamore.
I don't know how you have.
This is
I don't know
amazing.
how you have great hair playing hockey, wearing a fucking helmet all the time.
All hockey players have great hair.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
It's
Well,
insane.
not all. Like Derek Stepan is bald.
But also they have.
What's this video so people? What's it called?
So
Okay, Google King Oyster Mushroom.
So Eagle has a video in the background of someone stroking a king oyster mushroom. For anyone that doesn't know what a king oyster mushroom looks like,
It looks exactly like a dick.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got Boston tonight at home. Riding momentum. Carolina's had a few days off, cool down. Carolina's going to come in, not expecting to get beat up like the Bruins are going to do. But McAvoy suspended. That's a big loss.
Oh, he got suspended after
He got
all.
suspended after.
I
and
see.
it-
I don't know.
warranted. Very well warranted.
You find it was warranted?
Yeah, absolutely. He didn't get a penalty on the play. That's fine. Whatever. Refs didn't see it.
I
It's
find
okay.
it's tough. Like when you look at
But I'm
the
happy the
angle,
league stepped in.
when you look at the angle of that hit, when he
went right for his head.
But it's the same. But it's the same issue I have in the NFL sometimes. That when you're looking at a microscopic sense, when you're looking at it in slow
Nah,
motion,
it's a bad hit.
I
No matter
know-
how you look at it.
I know. I'm having a hard time defending
No
this.
matter how you look at it, it's a bad hit. And McAvoy, I don't think his intention was to hurt the guy, obviously. But Anderson took it right to the chin. And by rule, you know where you're going.
I know it's tough. It's tough. It's an aggressive sport, and
So,
it's tough.
yeah.
It's tough to be like the arbiter of these rules sometimes. But I just find that when you do slow down a play, sometimes what you're not taking into effect is that when the person launches off the ice, sometimes you don't expect that to happen. And at the end of the game, like both players, Anderson and McAvoy, shook hands, and they were able to make up.
Somebody said something.
I'm gonna check. Petrotam, your brother says, when are you gonna cut your hair?
I did
like
cut my
mine?"
hair today, actually.
Show us.
I did. I cut my hair today, and it's like a little short. It's a little shorter. I'll look right at the camera here. You see, before it was like down to my chin. So now what I did is I put more volume in there. There's more volume in my hair.
Yep.
And it so it is layered, so it looks more porno.
Yeah, man, you have the whole unemployed look. It's amazing. You have the whole unemployed look down to a T.
What do you mean unemployment look?
Yeah, you have a fucking beard. You haven't shaved in a long
I
time.
fucking wear expensive ass clothes. See right here?
You got a chocolate
I
stain
got-
on it. There's a fucking chocolate stain right
Yeah,
there.
I mean that
literally
doesn't
right there.
that doesn't
Chocolate
that
stain.
doesn't devalue my clothes.
Yes, it does.
This right here is quality.
You got crumbs all over it, by the way.
Ick his hair, first of all, because I just cut my hair. And then this T-shirt is called Preview. You get it at Sweet 100, and which is
please be a sponsor.
please be a sponsor of Sweet 100. And then these pants, Lululemon.
Oh, actually, Lululemon.
Stretchy ass pants.
Have to say, Lululemon,
got-
incredible
You
clothes.
got Stefan Yanofsky shoes.
Yeah, wait. Get in the picture. Get in the picture.
You're the unemployed look.
Skateboarding shoes. Right here.
A sec.
Stefan Yanofsky's.
Cool.
Eagle's not helping me out here. This is not unemployed.
The fact that you didn't rip your pants while doing that proves that Lululemon makes the best pants ever.
Best pants ever. And I got my baseball socks. Perfect.
Like-
But you know what? Bargained. I bargained all the shit.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, what were you saying? Sorry. So I got Boston tonight
Yeah.
at home. McAvoy's out. It sucks, but he'll be fine. They'll be fine. And then I got Philly at home to force a game 7 against Toronto. And then I have Portland at home to force game 7 against Denver.
And I'm gonna say that Kawhi Leonard is a motherfucking cold ass assassin. Kawhi Leonard,
Final
and
thoughts.
and if it wasn't for him, Toronto wouldn't even be here. I feel like Kawhi Leonard is gonna move on to another team at the end of the season. I think any Toronto fan that thinks that Kawhi's gonna stay is absolutely.
Okay, you're talking too much.
yeah.
Final thoughts are supposed to be short. Eagle final. So final thoughts for me is
Wait, what's your favorite ice cream? I forgot to ask you this.
my favorite ice cream.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Depends.
Like-
I think Camcoba in Montreal is legit.
But I mean, like flavor wise.
Oh, flavor, vanilla.
I tried
Vanilla Briars.
maple syrup, and blueberry.
Sounds great.
Looking good. Eagle.
I love vanilla.
Eagle, favorite ice cream.
Anything sugar, Eagle will eat it. That's it for this week. Had a great time, Duke, as usual. Forget about your brother. I think we should fire him. And we'll see you guys next week with Marco Briette's going to be our guest. He couldn't come this week, unfortunately, so we'll see him next week.
And Dan Lazara, maybe, perhaps?
Dan Lazare, 100%.
You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.